Hello, everyone, and for anyone watching me, I just want to share a thought with you today. It's probably something that you're very used to, but I felt it's necessary to get this in touch with you. Now, at every stage in our lives, we are faced with making decisions as regards what we want for ourselves. We are either not sure or we are so sure that things will work out, and along the way things don't work the way we want them to work, and this has a way of discouraging us and making us feel like we are not doing the right thing. In as much as this might be what you're facing, I want to encourage you today to understand that life as it is has never been fair to anyone except for those who take it by the horns. And so you must keep striving. You must never give up. You must ensure that at every point in time you are at the top of your game, playing your best game every time of your life. People will tell you different things. People will give you different techniques that they think can work. People will tell you what they think is the best way for you to do things. Now, the interesting thing about life's journey is that what worked for Mr. A may not work for Mr. B. I'm sure you have heard that a number of times. And so it's very expedient to understand what kind of journey you are on. It's very expedient to understand what your goal is and to know that you might have a group of people or you may be in a class with people, but you all are not running the same race and you all are not playing the same game. And so at every phase of your life, you must evaluate your journey and ask yourself if you're still in line. I usually tell people that it's good to have three categories of people in your life: those who are not at your level, like lower in level or status, those who are at par with you, and those who are ahead of you. Now, these three sets of people play certain roles in your life. Some help you to evaluate and to remind yourself of where you were before. Some help you to remember that you still have some who are on your level, and some remind you where you are actually going to. Now, each of these people or each of these category of people play their own role, and you must always recognize that that's the way life is. Everyone won't start their journey at the same time as yours, and you won't get to your destination at the same time with everyone. And so as you move on in life, you must begin to have that in mind and remember that your journey is your journey. For you to maintain clear mental stability, for you to have that clean bill of mental health, you must, as much as possible, avoid distraction. Distractions will always come your way in different forms at different times, and when these distractions come, it is basically either because you are not paying attention to what is happening around you, like you have lost touch, you have lost thought of everything, and you're carried away by such. And some of those distractions might be money. Yeah, maybe when you started that journey, your aim was not to get money, but along the line you began to think of money, and whilst you're trying to make impact. Excuse me. Now, I am not saying it is wrong to chase money. I'm not saying it is wrong to make money. No. I'm saying that you must always remind yourself why you started in the first place. If you started out without the intention of making money, when you realize that you want to start making money, then have a clear path for yourself. Otherwise, you would wake up one day and realize that you are not being fulfilled. They are not being fulfilled because initially your goal was not to make money, and you didn't adjust your mindset when it was time for you to start making money. So you're still carrying that mindset that you want to make impact. And there is a tendency that while you're chasing money, you're actually not making impact. Now, this is not to say you shouldn't make money, but I just use that as an example that we must remain focused. We must pay attention to our mental health when we are on a journey. You must ask yourself each and every day, am I happy with what I am doing? Am I excited with this journey? Am I excited with this thing that I've committed myself to? As long as you can answer those questions, then you are on the right path. But if at any point in time you're unsure of your happiness, you're not sure if you're making any input, you're not sure if you're making it or making a headway, then you need to sit back and ask yourself, what exactly is it that I'm trying to do? All right, because sometimes in the midst of trying to do things, you realize that you're not happy, and the next thing is sadness creeps in. As sadness creeps in, and over a while you wake up one morning and you just realize that things have actually gone bad for you emotionally. Now, it didn't start that morning, it had been there before now, but you didn't pay attention to it until that morning. And even that morning you didn't pay attention to it, but you realized that you couldn't do the things you used to do before. And so it's important that for you to maintain sanity, for you to have a clear head, you must be focused. You must, as much as possible, avoid the distractions that come on your journey as you travel through, as you carry out those tasks. And if at any point in time anything you're doing is making you, how do I put it, anything you're doing is not bringing happiness to you, anything you're doing is not getting you excited, don't do things that at the close of every day you ask yourself, what exactly am I doing with my life? All right, because you think you have a long way to go, but then it will dawn on you one day that you actually do not have as much time as you think you have, because time waits for no man, like they say. And so every second of the day, every minute of the hour, every hour of the day, you realize that the time is running, the clock is ticking, and before you say jack, you realize the whole time has passed by and you are not even there yet. All right, so ensure and tell yourself every day, or ask yourself every day, what exactly am I doing? Where exactly am I? What exactly do I want to achieve? Where do I want to be? This is important for your sanity. It's important for your journey. Now, do not, because of what people will say, continue on a path that you're not happy with. Do not think of what people will say and then refuse to sit down and make critical evaluation of your journey or your life or whatever you are doing, because it won't pay you that having gone through so much stress and then one day you sit down and everything is deflated. You're unhappy, you're sad, and it feels like you've wasted your entire life running a course. All right, so at every point in time, you must have that clarity that you're still on course. And the only way to have this is to always check to be sure that you still have this thing straight, to be sure that you're still okay, to be sure that there is nothing that is driving you nuts. If at any point in time you realize that you're losing it, hey, snap out of it. Again, I repeat, don't remain where you are, or don't keep doing what you're doing because of what people will say. Do it because you're convinced that that is the way to go. And the day you start losing your peace is the day to back out of that thing. The day you start losing your peace, the day you become unhappy about what you're doing, is the day to sit down and tell yourself there is a problem. Because you should be enjoying what you're doing. You should have fun of what you're doing. All right, so it's very, very important that you pay attention to whatever it is that you're doing. So I challenge you, watching this video, that you make a decision today to evaluate yourself, evaluate your journey, evaluate the things you've committed yourself to, and ask yourself, how much contribution have I made to myself in terms of your mental, in terms of your emotional stability? Has this journey taken so much from me in terms of your mental state of mind, or has it added to you? Do you wake up every morning and you keep asking yourself, no, I don't want to get out of bed? If that is your own challenge, then you need to evaluate what you're doing. Do not sit down there and say because all people say is why you don't want to stop. It is okay to stop than to continue and face challenges which end up affecting you mentally. I hope that you have actually come to understand that it pays no one to be mentally unstable and still chasing dreams and money. Now, this is because at the end of the day, the dream you're chasing or the money you're chasing might cost you your health. And the moment it costs you, where will the money come from? And so it's important that you take it one step at a time. Yes, take it one step at a time, and you realize that success will come your way. There's a saying that says, if you're not paranoid, you cannot make it. It's partly true. I challenge you today to evaluate that thing that you're doing, evaluate your journey, and ask yourself, how am I? Ask yourself, how am I? Because I tell people that when we say how are you, sometimes we just ask out of it being a cliche. We do not wait to get the real answer. But I want you to ask yourself today, and ask yourself saying, how am I? And give yourself an answer that is truthful and that is real. Till I come your way again. Bye bye.